Hello, welcome back to the channel. Glad you could join me. Today I wanted to talk about this book, Mission Improbable, Carrie Hatchett, Space Adventurer Number 1 by J.J. Green. Yes, it's a mouthful. There's a lot of books and other media today that the titles are just mouthfuls. Not that that's bad, just reflecting on it when I'm reading this and saying, well, that was unexpectedly a mouthful. Anyway, so let's see. Carrie is normal Earthling. She is concerned with normal Earthling stuff. She has a cat and a dog. Apparently her dog, and this is probably fairly cliche. Her dog is a contender for the ugliest dog award, but she can't see it. And her cat is on the very far end of the psycho spectrum, and she seems to be the only one who doesn't notice her pet's defects. Excuse me. Although I do have to say that a lot of people seem to have that particular mentality. For my part, I have a dog. She's great, but she is over enthusiastic when it comes to greeting strangers and can spook them, and she plays rough. So I know that, and I try to help her tone that down. We've been working with her on that to make it so that she doesn't scare people as much. My in-laws love her, but my mother-in-law is a bit shy around her because of how enthusiastic she can get. Anyway, Carrie just got a new job. It was one of those situations where she showed up for the job, kind of fudged it a little bit on her resume, and was surprised when she was chosen for the position. It was as a supervisor at a call center. And she was just hoping that she would be able to go in, fill the role, and not have, end the day with a job tomorrow. She feels that she is successful because she does have a job tomorrow, but she does feel that she is very, very underqualified for the position. That being said, she invites her coworker back to her place. She sees this guy. He's very attractive. And for the life of me, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I just paused the video so I could look it up. His name is Dave. She finds Dave very attractive and invites him back to her place in hopes of getting to know him better. And she does. She does get to know Dave better. She finds out that Dave is gay and has no interest in dating her, which is unfortunate for Carrie. But in the meantime, between meeting Dave, inviting her back to her place, she sees a weird green glow under her sink, and she opens it up and is sucked into who knows where. It is a white corridor, and she goes into one of the rooms and finds a giant crab-like creature. And she is not believing what's going on, obviously. She's thinking she's having a dream. And the crab creature starts breaking down because he was looking for someone to be a cultural crisis liaison officer, and Carrie showed up for the job interview, but she wasn't supposed to, and he was thinking that he would get fired if he had something like this happen. And so to appease him, she calms him down and says that she'll take the job, and she gets a bunch of equipment to help her in her job, and then she goes back home. And thinks that, at least she got a nice purse out of it. When she gets back home, she puts it on the table, goes to bed, and thinks that in the morning it will have just turned out to have been a dream, and when she wakes up, she's surprised that the equipment is still there. She goes to work, invites Dave back to her place, and it turns out that Dave not only is gay, but is a klepto. And when he was in the kitchen, he saw the devices on the table and put one in his pocket. He then gets sucked through the same green glowing portal that Carrie got sucked into, and going after him, they end up on a planet where they are supposed to negotiate between the two sentient species. There are two species, one to whom the planet belongs, and the other is the Plactoids. The Plactoids were supposedly mining on the planet, and they're supposedly mining for resources that were underutilized because the native species of the planet didn't need them, didn't want them. But there was some things going on that there were some Plactoids who disappeared, and they were sure that the native species on the planet was the one that was taking the Plactoids. So Carrie and Dave end up on the planet trying to negotiate between the Plactoids and the native species of the planet. Fortunately, it turned out that Dave stole the translating device, and so when they got to the planet, all they had to do was turn it on and use it, and they were able to understand both the Plactoids and the native species of the planet. So fortunately, that helped them out. There's a number of things about this. It was a fun read. I zipped through it. It was the literary equivalent of I can only think of the candy floss, but that's not what cotton candy. That's what we call it around here. Personally, I don't like cotton candy, so anyway, it wasn't a very deep read in any sense of the terms, and there are some problems with it. The Plactoid species, in my mind, is one of the biggest problems with with this first book in Mission Improbable. Space Adventure number 1. The native species of the planet actually was kind of an interesting take on a collective consciousness organism. But that may be giving it away a little bit, but even then it's really not a collective consciousness. So like I said, it's an interesting take on that kind of species. Whereas I felt that the Plactoids were kind of dumb to go in that direction. It didn't make a lot of sense. And maybe I've read some blurbs about the follow-up books in the series, and the Plactoids show up again. So it could be that the Plactoids, you get kind of an explanation of where they first originated from and why they are the way they are. So maybe that's coming, but I felt it was a little problematic, the way that they are presented, at least in this first book. That being said, if you're looking for a relatively short, quick adventure that's not too taxing but still fairly entertaining, I would go with Mission Improbable. If you're looking for some more, this is supposed to be a comedy, so the author sets this up right from the start, what your expectations are with the title, Mission Improbable, Carrie Hatchett, Space Adventurer. It really doesn't have, that smack of this is serious sci-fi. So you shouldn't take it as such, because you'll definitely be disappointed. That being said, it was okay. Not great, not bad, just okay. That's it for today. Let me know if you've read this. Let me know what your thoughts were. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And until next time, enjoy what you're reading.